going to introduce our first guest for today. This is actually our keynote speaker. I'm excited about this because we've like I said, we've done this event in a number of years, and I feel like we haven't been able to really get a doctor, someone that's been in the medical fields in that capacity. And so I'm excited about this guest today. Dr. Muller is a retired emergency room physician of 30 years, emergency room. So I know that's intense. He has worked at various hospitals located in Brooklyn, including Coney Island Hospital, Brookdale University Hospital, and Wyckoff Hospital. So I want to just bring up to the stage, I guess you would say, Dr. Muller, if you are here. You could throw yourself on the video, unmute yourself. There we go. Okay. All right. So one, I want to say thank you for being here with us today. Like I said in the beginning, like we haven't really, a doctor is one of the fields, right, that many of our students have expressed a ton of interest in, that we haven't really been able to kind of get somebody in here to talk a little bit about it. So even for my students and people in here who are not interested in the medical field, I think this could be a really good experience just to hear about, what you've been able to accomplish and your experience in the field. So I guess you could start off by telling us like how did you get into wanting to be in the medical field, and just that early stage, like thinking about when you were a youth, was this something you always wanted to do? And then what was that journey when you think of like pre-college days, right? Like as far as finding what's the career for you, and then, thinking about becoming a doctor and then kind of getting into that career field. Tell us a little bit more about like your early days.
Okay. Good morning, all. I'd like to extend my gratitude to Lisa, the executive director of Roads to Success, who has contacted me about being the keynote speaker of this Youth Leadership Summit. My thanks to Vidi also, the manager of external relations, and to Kachina, the director of education. Thank you for allowing me to speak to those beautiful young students.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I also want to express my gratitude to my colleagues who are also part of this panel. I bid you all a very good day. My name is Dr. Muller St. I am an emergency room physician in New York City. Born in Haiti, I moved to America at the age of 13 and graduated from high school at the age of 16. I finished college at age 20 and I had obtained my medical degree at age 24. No, it was not easy, but I knew what I wanted. Picture this: a non-English speaking immigrant from the Caribbean who became a doctor at the age of 24. If I can do it, so can you. You just need to know what you want and work towards your goal. You own your destiny, claim it, but you need to have a good foundation and apply yourself. Take advantage of your teachers and counselors and get some tutoring if needed. There's no shame in being tutored, but it's a shame if you're in a class and not understand the subject matter. There is no shame in asking questions either. You cannot afford to remain in ignorance. You are beautiful young students, full of promises, and you can reach whatever goal you set for yourselves. You just have to work at it. Do not let anyone tell you differently. We were all created equal with a brain. Blacks, whites, browns, Asians, we can all do it. Our living conditions may not be the same. The circumstances we face are not the same, but we must thrive. We must thrive to become better, to have a better life. It is not easy, but it's definitely attainable. In other words, it can be reached. Failure is not always a mistake. It may simply be the best you can do under the circumstances. The real mistake is to stop trying. Know what you want and go for it. Do not let anyone tell you differently or that you are inferior. Had I listened to people, I would not have been what I am today. Intelligence is beautiful, and knowledge is a direct means of liberation. Now, everyone needs a passion. It makes life more interesting. Find your passion. Get a good education. Be your passion, because life will be much more beautiful and you will enjoy living. Be upright citizens. Become a pillar in your community. Be the lawyer or the doctor or the nurse or the teacher that you want to be. Yes, you can do it. I did it. And do help someone who's weaker than you also. Cooperate with others and bring out the best in them as they bring out the best in you. Position yourselves in positive spheres, in positive environments. Your home environment may not be the most suitable, but take advantage of your teachers and counselors, because they're here to help you, so you may be able to contribute to the community and be the pride of your parents. You will be looked up to, and you will be able to leave your footprints so others can follow you. Dreams are always big, and we have to grow into them. Dream about the moment, dream beyond the moment. Take good care of yourself, because by taking care of yourself, you're helping everyone. You will become independent and also be able to help your family instead of being on the other end. Be you. Become the you that you've always wanted. Study, study, study. Education is the key to opening doors. Stay in school, stay in school. Focus. If I can do it, you can do it. Colleges are not just interested in your academic prowess, but also in your community involvement. Volunteer time in your community. You can be at the soup kitchen, church functions, tutoring another student, helping an elderly, and so on. There's so much to learn, so much to be gotten from helping others. And you will really feel appreciated in the process, and you will end up doing much more better than expected. And that is a blessing. Be of good character. Be a leader. Learn to walk away from arguments that may lead to anger and fights. In other words, be brave. Bravery does not refer to the absence of fear, but in the righteous actions in the face of it. Be courageous. Don't be a bully, and do not align yourselves with the likes of such. We all have some prejudices, some prejudice in us, but we must fight them. We must. It is in conversing with others that we discover how similar we are, and that we discover our best ideas. The greatest value of having good people around us is not what you can get from them, but the better person we become because of them. And that, my dear students, is the power of association. In life, you will meet all kinds of people. Some of them will test you. Some of them will try to take advantage of you. Some of them will bring out the worst in you. But some of them will teach you. Some of them will bring the best out of you. So listen to your teachers and counselors. They are here to help you. Listen to your parents and the elders. They have your best interest at heart. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. We are our own choices, and taking ownership of our own actions, big or small, that is what it's all about. Taking ownership of our own actions. Claim it. Claim it. Be a real man. Be a real woman. Know your subject matter. Do not let anyone discourage you. You are as good as anyone else. Apply yourself. Apply yourself. Study. 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 You may have to study a bit more than your peer, but you can make it just as well. You are beautiful, young people, beautiful. And you can accomplish anything you put your mind into. Thank you. Thank you for the chance. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. I hope and pray that each one of you listening become the upright citizen you ought to be. The doctor or the nurse, the teacher or the lawyer, the acclaimed physicist and CEO that you aspire to be, or the fine designer, the writer, the businessman that you yearn to be. May all your dreams be fulfilled, and may you lead a happy life. Thank you for allowing me to talk to you again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Thank you, thank you. We do have a couple, I think we have time for a couple questions. There are a couple questions in the chat, so I'm gonna try to get to as many as I can. So one of the first ones I think is interesting is Ethan asked, how did you find your passion? So, you know, the medical field, being a doctor is your passion. How did you get to that point? How did you find that?
Great question. Like I said, since I was a little boy, I always wanted to be a doctor. I also wanted to be a psychologist. But as I grew up, I figured that, God, depending on where you are, a psychologist may not be the best thing you for yourself. For you, you'd have to study it and think about it. I wanted to be able to be helpful to as many as I could, and choosing to become a doctor was the best way I could be helpful to all, because I can always do something for them. So I just applied myself to study. I mean, I could have had a lot more fun when I was a kid, but I wanted to have better grades. I wanted to have good grades. I wanted to make sure I make it through medical school. So I restrained myself from many things. But after medical school, I had a lot more fun than anybody else.
Nice, nice. So throughout your journey, while in school, even thinking about becoming a doctor, did you have any role models or people that inspired you in your lifetime? And if so, you know, who are those people and how did they inspire you to, you know, continue or join this field?
Not really a role model. My family was somewhat, because my brothers and sisters, I'm the youngest, and they were all well-educated men and women. There were doctors in physics, there were nurses, they had different positions, and that sort of motivated me to become something big also.
Okay. All right. I got two more questions for you. So one of the students asked, how do you deal with, like, obviously being a doctor, you've probably seen people die. How do you
God,
deal with that as far as a part of the job?
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. You can never get used to seeing people suffer and die. And occasionally you might even shed a tear. And that's okay. That's human. But see it this way, you can bring you can get them to you can bring relief of pain. You could make them feel better. And by trying to heal them physically, you can also affect their mental and emotional. So you become a counselor, you become a friend, not just a doctor. You're a real person to them. Yes, sometimes it's rough. In the emergency room, there are cases you do not want to see. It's not that easy, it's not. But you choose to be what you want, and you'll be okay with it. You will be okay. Yes.
And then let's hear. I guess was my last question. Do you have any final like advice for students pursuing this career? Maybe something like a gem that they might not find out other places, but like just you with your experience, something that can just, you know, give a young person advice that's looking to be a doctor.
Yes. Most definitely get good grades. Get your good grades. That does matter, but it is not the only thing that matter. Now, it's very nice, very helpful also to have extra curricular activities. Like after school, you get involved in some sports or something. Occupy your time. The more you occupy your time, the better off you are, because that little time that's left, you know you have to study. And also get involved in the community. Help. I mean, those who are, there's so many people, there are so many people who are in need. So you can be helpful and grow as you go along. Now, once you finish high school, there are many scholarships. Once you finish college, I'm sorry, they have many scholarships. So apply for scholarship. Talk to your counselor and teachers. Visit the college that you want to go to. They do have special scholarships. Or go to the public library. You can find a lot of information, so you do not have to worry so much about paying later or your parents. And if you are good at any sports or anything else, again, that helps getting that scholarship.
Definitely. All right, I got one more for you because this might be for more of my adults in here. How do you balance work life and family life? So I know doctor, like that's one of those careers that's super demanding, right? So like, how do you balance that?
That's a tough one, because I remember when I was doing my residency, I used to work 36 hours straight for 3 years. So you go to work at 7 a.m. on Monday, and you come back on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Okay, you'll be lucky if you get some sleep. But now things have changed. I think it's a 24-hour schedule now for residents. But you learn to be, and hopefully you will have an understanding family that understand that your work is hectic. So you might not have all the time to give them, but you must make time for them. You must. It's a must. Family comes first, no matter what you say. It's your family comes first. So make time, take time to take the family out, to talk to them, to eat with them, to enjoy living. You have to, even if it's tough, you must. There must always be a balance, always. Otherwise, you will not be a happy doctor. Neither will you have happy patients, by the way.
Definitely. So I want to say from me and even some of the comments in the chat, we want to say thank you for giving us your time today. I think those words were really, really great, not just for the students. I even think for some of the adults in here. So we definitely appreciate you sharing your experience and your knowledge with us today. So just I want to give you a round of applause and a shout out to you. And I want to say just again, thank you so much.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best.